space, as well as non-ASMR vlogs if you enjoy me and want to kind of see what else I do when I'm not whispering into a microphone. So, your support there really helps. And for every 50 members of my website, I do a bonus video here on YouTube, which this is huge because this is the third week in a row that I'm doing a bonus video, meaning in 3 weeks we went from 350 to 400 to 450. So thank you guys so much for that. And I'm going to put right on the screen how many members we are currently at and where we need to get for the next bonus video. So today, it's actually very fitting that I'm posting this because the Love is Blind live, we'll talk about that, reunion just aired on Sunday night, and we obviously need to talk about it. You guys always bully me into watching Love is Blind, and I always begrudgingly do so in the beginning, but by the end I'm like so into it, and I'm like, we must talk about this. So it was a request. If there are any other trashy reality shows that you want me to watch, you just all have to bully me. Like, I just have to hear it from like multiple people liking other people's comments, things like that. But Love is Blind, if you are living under a rock, or if you just don't enjoy trashy reality shows, which is quite normal, is a reality show on Netflix that takes a group of men and a group of women, puts them in these pods where there's a guy on one side, a wall, and a girl on the other, and they have to talk to each other and get to know each other without seeing each other, and then why not commit to marrying that person in like 2 weeks. So it's essentially, the idea probably came from like dating today being so centered around looks, and you take one look at somebody's photo on Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, and you just like, yep, no. So this experiment requires everybody to get to know each other and then crash and burn if they're not actually physically attracted to each other. So we're gonna talk about, I'd say we'll focus on the reunion, but we'll talk about like the show in general and really like the characters. So I have my little notes that I'm going to pull up. Sometimes my notes app is like so weird. Okay, so it's interesting enough because apparently there's so many characters. I think they start with like 30 guys and 30 girls, and then it really dwindles down because not everybody finds a match, or some people are not I guess entertaining enough to be on TV. Apparently there was like a scandal with that, with one couple that did end up getting engaged, but they just were never featured on the show. So again, let's talk about the reunion, and then we'll talk about the characters within that. So first of all, what a mess. Okay, it was supposed to be live, and they had the messiest tech issues, and I just wonder why, right? Like, it's Netflix. They are huge. You'd think they would be prepared. And I wonder if it was like an overwhelming amount of people trying to tune in at the same time that they weren't prepared for, or something else. But it was supposed to air live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it didn't end up airing live until around like, I don't know. I had already watched Succession. It was like 9:45, and so I like tuned in live, but then just rewound it and watched it from the beginning. So So Kwame and Chelsea, the whole thing with them that I was seeing all over TikTok, and I loved watching the Love is Blind TikToks. I'm going to actually make a TikTok version of this video for my TikToks, for my TikTok, because I'm a TikTok star these days. But the whole thing with them was that everyone was kind of joking that Chelsea was holding Kwame hostage, and he really was uninterested in the relationship, and it very much showed through his words, his body language, just everywhere. Which I was fully in agreement of that opinion, because specifically, guys, the strawberry incident where they're shopping and Kwame, so basically, like, you know, they decide to get engaged in the pods, right? They chit chat, I love you, let's get engaged, will you marry me? Yes. Then they see each other in person, they kiss, it's kind of awkward, they're like, wow, I love you, you're so hot, whatever. Then they go to Mexico, they have a vacation, where they kind of get to know each other, but it's still not complete reality because they're in paradise, you know, whatever. Then they come back home and move into an apartment together and like do stuff together for like a week. So I want to say it's like, I feel like the full thing is a month. I think it's like, what, a week or two in the pods, a week in Mexico. Maybe it's a week in the pods, a week in Mexico, and then like 2 weeks of like living life. I really don't know. If anybody knows, let me know, because I'm actually curious. And one day Kwame and Chelsea were like shopping together or something, and he just looked so uninterested, and she just was, regardless of whatever they say on the reunion, that like, oh, we're so in love, everybody's crazy, like, stop gaslighting us, okay? That situation, and I do understand that, like, you see 1% of, you know, what really was happening, and they probably didn't show, you know, all types of other situations. I don't care what anyone says, even if it's just that particular situation alone. He was having doubts, and he was uncomfortable, and the main thing was, she wasn't reading the room. She was choosing to ignore him, forcing strawberries down his throat at gunpoint, and just being like overcompensating for his lack of affection by just giving him more affection, which was very cringe and terrible to watch. And I think it's something that many women, and mostly I would say girls, because I did this when I was young, but you won't catch me doing this now. We've all experienced it and been there, where there's a little bit of insecurity on your part, and you're just pretending that the guy is like matching your energy when really he's not. Although cut to the reunion, and Chelsea and Kwame swore that they're so in love, they live together, whatever. So, I mean, only time will tell, right? Now the reunion's over. There's not, I mean, maybe they'll do one more special about like this cast of characters and like what they're up to, because I think they did that with the last season. But other than that, like, their 15 minutes is almost up, so we'll see what happens afterwards, because you know, the couples that stay together, like, obviously get the most airtime, and who knows, I mean, so Kwame was also caught on, oh my god, I don't remember the name of the show. There was another Netflix, like, similar dating show where he was like, you catch him for 4 seconds in the background. Like, the internet is so funny because it's so full of like sleuths. And he obviously, like, this is not his first rodeo with trying to be on reality TV, which leads me to this, okay? And I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna stand by it. So, there was a situation, you know, talking about, like, you know, being on TV and whatever, and are they just doing this for TV? There was a situation where Irina, who was originally with Zack, was like apologizing for he was like, look, Irina, I think the truth is here that you just came here to get on TV. And the audience was like clapping and excited. And again, don't get me wrong, Irina was nasty in the pods and stuff, but at the same time, Zack, you guys is what is the elephant in the room is you are all on a reality television show. On some level, you all wanted to be on a TV show and be famous. I have applied for these types of reality shows, not the love ones, but like whatever else. I'm on lists, email lists where I get casting calls for them. I don't really apply to them anymore, but I did in my early 20s, like the Real World and stuff. These applications are very long, and you have to put so much information about yourself and photos and answer all types of crazy questions about how you would handle arguments and confrontation and this and that. They take forever, and you're not doing them like it's so clear when you're doing these applications to reality shows that the type of person they're looking for, and you have to answer the questions, and the more crazy you sound and whatever, like the better chance you have of getting on the show. So for Zack to sit there and act like him and everyone else in this experiment just is there for love and, completely innocent, and Irina was just living in her own world of wanting to be famous, like, you're delusional. Everyone there, like, wanted airtime and they got it. And I get it, like, he does have like a real job and stuff like that, but I don't know, at the same time, it just that bothered me that he said that. And it's like, I actually respected that Irina, like, I guess came out and kind of said, I guess apparently in the car and things like that, that she was like, oh, I don't know if we're actually gonna get married, like, none of us know what's going on, like, we're all just like doing this TV show. Like, yeah, that is the truth, okay? And two things can be true at once. Zack, you can want to like and embrace the opportunity of being on a TV show and getting some internet clout while also wanting to find love. And also, she was mean about it, but she simply wasn't attracted to this dude and didn't feel a connection. And I don't think that it was completely physical. It's not like she ever was like, you're hideous, you look like Shrek. Like, he's not hideous, but he gives off a vibe that I'm actually really not attracted to at all, and that's okay. Like, physical attraction and like the vibe you feel with somebody in person and being around them in a real world situation, like, it's okay to just decide you're not attracted to the person. And they all get so butthurt with each other about, like, oh, she like knew immediately she wasn't into me, she didn't try, she got a vibe very quickly, and like, who cares? Like, she would be a fool to have stayed with him and tried to like make it work. I would be so uncomfortable if I was like sleeping in a bed with a random dude after talking to him for 2 weeks. The whole thing is crazy, and I literally could talk about it for like hours upon hours upon hours. So there was that, and then there was Paul and Micah, and that was another one where I was bothered as well, because I feel like Micah, again, Micah I think had growth, okay? Like, she was doing the mean girl thing in the like pods with Irina, and I will say too, Irina was wrong AF for flirting with Paul behind Micah's back. That I have no tolerance for, but I don't know this girl, she's not my friend, so I'm gonna separate that from and just look at the situation she had with Zack like for its own thing. way she flirted with my man. That being said, okay, Paul, I feel like is getting, like, people are thinking he's innocent. Number one, I hate that Irina's getting blamed for flirting with him and he's not getting any of the blame. There is a clip of him literally like biting at her finger, and her finger like grazes his lip, and he's like smiling and like biting her finger and like grabbing her with his foot and stuff. Like, he was 1,000,000% like leaning into that as well. And I just don't understand. I like wish Micah would have been stuck up for a little bit more, although Vanessa, the host, did stick up for her. Or what? Wait, did Zack say to Micah that she wanted to go? I think he said it to Irina. Whatever. Okay, let's see the Paul thing. I'm looking at my notes. Paul's a gaslighter because he flirted with Irina in Mexico. Check. Said that. He tried to say he didn't cross the line, but he literally bit her finger. Check. Said that. He says he doesn't believe in making a decision based off of someone else's feelings. Yet he originally said he made his decision. Okay, yeah. So Paul was just, again, Paul should have just, he dug himself kind of into a hole, in my opinion, by making all types of weird remarks about Micah wouldn't be a good mom and this and that. Like, when he should have just been like, I just wasn't that into this and I just didn't see a future here. Like, and he should have asserted that. Like, we are not meant to be with every single person we date. And it's so crazy to me, the concept that people are supposed to just push through, like, after being with someone for a month and just, like, continue when they're not into it. Like, it's not like you've already built a relationship and love and a foundation and a marriage and a home and a family, and you're 6 years in and the spark fizzles a little bit and you need to like fight for the relationship by going to therapy and like doing date nights. Okay, that I totally am all for. But if you've been dating someone for literally 33 seconds and you decide for no other reason than I'm not vibing with this person, so be it. Like, that's literally fine. Like, the way these people wanted to like hold each other at gunpoint to be together, it was so weird. Okay, so Paul at one point said that he was like, oh, I don't believe in making a decision like based off of someone else's feelings, because they were like, well, Micah was gonna say yes, and if you knew she was gonna say yes, would you have said it? And when literally he completely contradicted himself, because during the reunion he literally said, or I'm sorry, during like when he was getting like about to make his choice, he literally said that he made the decision at the altar once she asked him to go first. So he quite literally made a quick decision right then and there based off of her feelings. Like, if she would have just been like yes and like whatever, he would have said yeah. Like, just didn't make sense. Also, like, I don't think that he got called out hard enough for the saying that Micah wouldn't be a good mom thing, especially hearing more context behind this. cute and everything, but like he was giving Chelsea a little bit, meaning that Jackie was kind of obviously not into him and into the relationship, and he was choosing to ignore it for a long time before, you know, it ended. But I do think Jackie came off as just dumb as a box of rocks, if I'm being candid. Came off as, okay, I don't know this woman, whatever. She seemed different in the reunion a little bit, and Josh, her current boyfriend, seemed less of an absolute serial killing lunatic. I guess they caught him drunk at the last clip that they had of him, like in Marshall's face, where he just seemed completely unhinged. But it also showed clips of Josh like meeting Jackie in the coffee shop and literally saying I love you to her, but it didn't show any context of like them in the pods when they had like spoken and stuff. So that context helped make that slightly more, dare I say, normal. But yeah, they seemed more normal, and I thought I was low-key cracking up at the Marshall and Jackie thing, where Jackie tried to say Marshall was fruity, tried to say he came off as gay or whatever, and also the way that Vanessa tiptoed around this, because there were screenshots that Jackie's friend posted or got leaked on the internet of Jackie saying she felt like Marshall had sugar in his tank and he was fruity and whatever. And I guess Marshall saw those and then told her that she had like a strong jawline, like trying to be like, well, you're a man. Like, just the pettiness. These two just hated each other. That's why it's funny. It's because like, you hate this person, they hate you. Marshall was like, oh, we were joking, I went too far. No, you weren't. You weren't joking. You were butthurt. She was butthurt. And everyone was trying to hit low blows. Like, you were not joking, dude. I'm sorry to say. Take it from someone that's had petty, low-down arguments with their significant other where we've said some things that you couldn't waterboard them out of me. But it's on both sides. And it was because we were being nasty, toxic, petty little brats. Nobody was joking. So I just, I don't know, that was the Marshall Jackie Josh thing was a little anticlimactic. But I think Marshall's cool, and it seems like he really was ready for a girlfriend, and I hope he finds someone. And then really the last thing that I would have to say, I didn't talk about Brett and Tiffany because I just think they're great. I think they have a real relationship. I think there's only like one other couple in Love is Blind history that actually like stayed together for the past few years, and it's like Cameron and something else. I don't even know their names, but I think that the producers strategically, or the casting directors strategically chose these two people. Their ages were the same. They were a little older, so they're looking for something more serious. Whereas like last season, like Bartiste was like 24. It's like, why are you trying to get people to marry each other when they're 24? Like, nobody wants to get married when they're that young. Like, that's weird. Not weird, but like, you know what I mean. And it would be like they'd set up like a 32-year-old and a 25-year-old, and it's like, I'm sorry, you're not necessarily going to be on the same page marriage-wise. There could be a lot different there. But Brett and Tiffany were, you could just tell like they were on the same page. I think they're adorable, and I wish them nothing but the best. But yeah, so the final thing I'll say is like, this show, the concept of the show just gets me so like wired up, because it's just the most astronomically ridiculous concept for a show that you could ever imagine, which there's so many crazy shows, but just the fact that the people, the cast, the crew, Vanessa and Nick, the host, everybody is just gaslighting us all into thinking this is normal. It's so not normal. Marriage in general fails more than 50% of the time, let alone these marriages that were created in 2 weeks, sight unseen. And I just think that any person that would actually go on this show really having like an outlook of this could happen, like this, there's a real possibility about this, it's very likely to happen. And when I say it, I mean a successful, prosperous, happy, healthy, loving marriage. I think it is a delusional, complete and utter delusion to have that mindset. And you're better off, taking your chances on Hinge and going on coffee dates until you find the one. And it also utterly disgusts me when they tell each other they love each other after 4 days and they haven't even seen each other. It's mentally emotional. It is not possible. Like, what is the science behind love? And like, when you can actually begin feeling that for someone, is that a defined thing? I want to look it up, because all I know is it cannot possibly happen in a week, in a day. It just can't. You can feel a vibe, and then that can grow into love. But like, you have to go through things with somebody to really, I think, build a real love with them, whether it's a relationship or even a friendship. It's not just like a default feeling based on a couple conversations. You have to have real world experience, good times, bad times, fights, success, social outings. Like, there's so much. It's such a dynamic feeling to be in love with someone. And I hate that they just throw it around. To me, it's so embarrassing, because it's like, it should really be called desperate for love or desperate for marriage. Like, they just want to be married. They want that label of marriage so badly that they're willing to ignore logic and sense above all else, and just marriage. Which at the end of the day, yes, a marriage, a wedding, and being newlyweds is less than 1% of what it means to be married. So it's just crazy to me, like, why fight so hard for that label? It just feels like that's stems from insecurity, and all these people are so young. It's like, just, you don't need to do this. Like, you can find your person, you just have to put effort into dating in like the real world. So what a ramble. I said so much. Yeah, so that's how I feel about Love is Blind. I'm sure there will be another season, and you guys will bully me into watching it again, which I'll begrudgingly do, and then talk about it with my eyes lit up for 45 minutes in a video 3 weeks later. So yeah, that's all I have. I want your opinions. I want your comments. Doesn't matter if you agree or disagree with me. I love, like I said, watching TikToks and reading comments about it. So I want to like build a comment section about it here while it's fresh in our minds.